losing that trust is not by accident, it's by design. If you remember when President Trump was running the first time, Steve Bannon once said, the goal is to blow the whole thing up.
Dwight Schrute, one of the great characters in all of television from The Office, which when I'm not watching Seinfeld, that is the other sitcom that I can still watch these days. It's the one thing I watch on all the plane rides that I'm on, was played by an actor, it was played by a human. Dwight was the character, played by an actor, Rainn Wilson. Here he is, he has his podcast, and he brought on MSNBC 13's Stephanie Ruhle, and they were talking about Trump and Musk and misinformation and the lack of faith in mainstream media. And I think there's a couple interesting things here. Take a look.
40% of Americans don't trust mainstream media. Why is that? How did we get here?
Listen, we are seeing a huge loss in trust of all of our institutions. It's the media, it's medicine, it's banking. It's a huge problem because when you think about democracy and all of these pillars, they need to stand tall, they need to stand strong. And sort of losing that trust is not by accident, it's by design. If you remember when President Trump was running the first time, Steve Bannon once said, the goal is to blow the whole thing up. And so I think that you've got mistakes made or things starting to slip, while at the same time there's a concerted effort to destroy the media. Because the media, the news media, is, in my opinion, the last line of defense of holding power accountable, right? And you had a bit of a perfect storm, right? President Trump won, and tons of people were shocked or angry or frustrated, and they're tuning out. And at the same time, you have the Elon Musk media machine, because they want you to leave traditional media and they want you to go to X, which is a bastion of misinformation, where there is no fact checking. So it's a perfect storm of people saying, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm tuning out, I'm disconnecting. And then you have a force pushing it. But even in the last 2 weeks, what we need to do is just cover what's happening in America, right? We have to cover Democrats trying to figure out what their lane is and how they're going to get back on their feet. And we have to simply cover what this White House is doing. And I think if we do that, right, there's that saying, you know, trust is gained in raindrops and it's lost in buckets. And it's not yes, you're not incorrect that the media has lost trust.
This is where I would push back. When I see this kind of insight and passion being directed at the current administration, and the lack of this kind of insight and passion being directed at the previous administration, where, again, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about left-leaning news media organizations were kind of like, la, 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 everything's fine. Look, the environment's, look, the economy's great, la, 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 immigration's not that much of a problem. And really being Cleopatra, queen of denial. Thank you. Boom.
All right. So I don't know too much about Rainn Wilson's politics. I think he's somewhat of a lefty or something like that. But again, Dwight Schrute, beet farmer, great man, you know, did a lot of great work and helped Michael with a lot of problems over the years and all sorts of stuff. But he did hit on something, right? At the end, he hit on something that, maybe it is that you guys were pretty bad and you hit a lot of for the 4 years, so maybe you should get that mirror, perhaps, that I'm always talking about, Ruhle. Maybe you want to get the mirror and look in the mirror and be like, oh, so she says, well, there's a problem with media, medicine, and banking. Well, media, you're part of the media. Stephanie Ruhle, if you're watching the show today, you and your network lied repeatedly for over 4 years about, we can do a laundry list of things, let's just say very fine people. Okay, that was the major one that you lied about, that Barack Obama even lied about the day before the election. Medicine, you on your network, your very network, MSNBC 13, you had Rachel Maddow on, who you guys pay $25 million to do a once-a-week show. I wish I could get that gig. I'd be out of here faster than that. That would be it. You know what she did? She said, you will not get nor transmit COVID if you get the COVID vaccine. I don't think she was fact-checked on that. Then she also says that X doesn't fact-check. Actually, X has community notes. They do fact-check. You guys don't fact-check. And then she also brought up banking, and it's like, okay, well, you guys all obviously defended too big to fail. We had banks. They were about to fail. And then what did we do? We pumped them up, made them bigger, and now there's less of them. So now there's less banks that are too big to fail.
Could your health issues be caused by an invisible enemy? Fatigue, bloating, brain fog? What if parasites are the real culprit? I was digging into parasite cleanses when I came across this video from a trusted doctor.
What are the main differences between ivermectin and fenbendazole? These are two anti-pathogens used to treat parasitic infections and other similar types of conditions. They are used quite often in the oncology world to treat cancer. They both have as anti-pathogenic abilities.
Interesting, right? Did you know 60 million Americans apparently have parasites? That's scary. They're everywhere in our food, water, and pets. They secretly invade your body, wreaking havoc on your gut, energy levels, and even your brain. And the mainstream medical system doesn't want you to think about this because one great cleanse can change your life. The Wellness Company has a solution for you. Ivermectin plus mebendazole. FDA-approved parasite solutions now combined in one cleanse combo. Just fill out a brief medical intake form to get your 3-month supply. Lots of parasite cleanses are all over social media, but not the gold standard level. MAHA is officially here, and the Wellness Company is making these hard-to-get medications digitally accessible so you can live your best life. Head on over to twc.health/Rubin and use code Rubin to save $90 off plus free shipping. Don't wait. Cleanse your body today and take back control.